I was like, what? The Kirsche situation is genuinely hilarious. I was like, how did Rev make a 20-minute video out of one tweet? Let's fucking go. How did he do this?
There's anything more satisfying when it comes to the coverage of content creators than seeing an individual who engages in cancel culture and life ruination campaigns having a sense of karmatic justice inflicted upon them, where you have an individual who's trying to ruin the lives of others finally get that sort of energy directed back to them by the same people they were trying to impress just months ago. So that's what's going on in today's video. It is a bit of an update on the journalist slash VTuber Anna Valens, who many of you might recognize for some unfortunate reasons. Last year we covered Anna Valens multiple times because they made 3 hit pieces on the
based Rev for not ignoring the largest story in the VTuber sphere of 2025.
VTuber Kirsche, not only trying to label her as a bigot and a Nazi, but labeling her fans as the same. Also during this whole campaign, they were trying to engage in life ruination, trying to get Kirsche's sponsors to be pulled. That of course failed, and ultimately the 3 articles on Vice were pulled, and all the people engaging in this ridiculous campaign look quite embarrassing to this day and really showed their true colors. But now, a lot of the people that were impressed by these articles, including the insane people over at Blue Sky, are now turning on Anna Valens, basically eating their own. Now, ironically enough, calling Anna Valens a Nazi, and even going as far as to say that Anna Valens is a Kirsche fan. Yes, the irony is palpable, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, this whole thing started...
I guess if you really wanted to be some, like, Machiavellian guy, you could be like, yeah, Anna Valens is Kirsche's biggest fan. Look at how much attention Anna Valens got, Kirsche. I was like, it wasn't all fun attention, but it was attention nonetheless. Jesus Christ. Get fucked, anal violence. Yeah, the left always Ouroboroses, man. Your favorite chat member, Anna, he will forever be seen as a top chatter. He always donated $500 per stream. See, chat, that's why I always warn you guys to take care of yourselves first. You shouldn't be donating $500 to me just to go have to beg for rent on Blue Sky, man. That's not okay.
Started with a life ruination campaign targeting a sponsor. She was the fixation of the journalist slash VTuber Anna Valens for quite some time. And it all started with articles like this back in 2025. This was one of 3 articles posted to Vice.
Another fun reminder that this was always going to be a Gamer Supps hit piece article. They've even referred to it as the Gamer Supps article. The entire point was that they wanted to try and strong arm a very notable sponsor into having to cut contact with partners due to wrongthink. One of the original targets was going to be Rima until I became, supposedly in their minds, a much easier person to target due to my political opinions that they could exploit and lie about.
About Kirsche by Anna Valens, and as you can see, quite the inflammatory description of Kirsche, where the entire goal was to label her and her fans as Nazis and to get Kirsche's sponsors pulled. Also, I'll never understand why of all the artwork pulled for Kirsche, you get the one that goes as hard as this one. But
why
anyways,
would you use that? I guess in their mind, they were like, oh, Trump is a Nazi, and this is art depicting Kirsche as Trump. Therefore, this is the perfect artwork to depict Kirsche as a Nazi. Fucking what a freak, dude.
Long story short, the 3 articles were removed by Vice after threats of legal action by Kirsche, of course. And, well, this would cause a spiral on social media where a lot of the Looney Tunes over at Blue Sky and on Twitter as well were trying to stand up for Anna Valens. In fact, you had hashtags like this, hashtag I stand with Anna Valens.
Fucking Kusa. Every time I see Kusa, I always think about him talking to Bint, being like, it's only a matter of time, Binty boy.
Of course, the totally sane people you can see supporting that, but ultimately, as pointed out here, if you want to pick a side, well, are you really picking a side with someone like Anna Valens, who wrote this infamous article back in 2020 that they seem to never want to address, or any of the supporters want to address,
toy maker
where they hooked up an adult toy to themselves and then played Fall Guys where essentially if they ever made contact with another player, it would activate their toy, giving them gratification. And in case you're confused here, they are playing a game predominantly played by children, and basically, without consent, forcing those around them in the game to engage in this activity, which of course includes children. And
also a fun fact, Anna Valens also said that the article that they wrote on me was one of the biggest ones of their career, next to the article they wrote about the positives of having public sex. Brother, what? Like, what? How does anyone defend this individual is beyond me.
This is the person now who is the moral arbiter of what's allowed in the VTubing scene and is trying to get people's sponsors pulled. Now, things would turn even worse for Anna Valens because even the wackadoos on places like Reddit and Blue Sky would start to turn on them. Eventually, because of many different reasons, but because of one, they made an article, basically a puff piece about Pippa, which is very odd. It's not a puff piece,
but hold on.
In the article, basically, Anna Valens professes that they're a big fan of Pippa, and they label Pippa as edgy and a sort of shock jock. And I guess that upset all the people on Blue Sky, who now considered Anna Valens a traitor.
Anna Valens, obviously a very proficient liar. First of all, they're a trans activist. Second of all, they're a journalist. That's like two types of devious lying morphed into one, as it were.
But wait, there's more.
And then, also, speaking of life ruination, Anna Valens would try to get...
Oh, wait, that's their other thing. Hold on, let me go to the Pippa puff piece thing. There are a lot of people that repeat this, both against Anna and people who defend Anna, saying that it's a puff piece. And it's absolutely not.
I do want to try VTubing on the side, but I feel like the community is just too rancid, and as a very petite woman, I'd probably get the most annoying sort of fans. I hate to say it, Zoria, but I think you're right. I think it's true. I've been talking to a lot of people who basically have been saying and telling me, like, hey, I am just a little done with English VTubing, because my personal feeling on English VTubing is it's cooked, and it's not getting better, it's getting worse, and none of the problems are being addressed, so I don't want to be part of it, and I feel really uncomfortable with the direction that it's going in. And, you know, I think that's a pretty fair thing to say. I feel really sad that a lot of people are increasingly coming up to me and saying, I feel like I have to, you know, like do advanced research on anyone I want to work with in VTubing. I feel like I have to, I feel like I don't even open Twitch anymore because the space feels so toxic and rancid. People coming up to me and saying, I don't know if I should start VTubing. It's become a real issue over
I do not understand this, right? Like, VTubing is just another medium of content creation. And, like, I feel like people should have a degree of respect for, like, how VTubing was born as another medium of content creation, right? It was born out of Japanese culture, out of idol culture, right? I still have a certain degree of respect, even if I'm not, like, a actual idol streamer, right?
the past couple months. And, I don't want to say, like, oh, you know, I made a difference in a significant way. But I do think after the Kirsche stuff, I think it kind of combined with the Cinder stuff. And people just kind of walked away thinking, yeah, this stuff's not that great. You know, like, the environment here is, like, a lot of people basically, like, hadn't had a major update about VTubing since they heard the word Iron Mouse or Gargura at 7th inning stretch. And the next thing they hear is, like, oh, there's a Fox Girl VTuber who says that great replacement theory is real. And it's just, like, I think people started digging into stuff after that, like normies, people outside the VTubing sphere, casual VTuber viewers rather, and they were like, oh my god, this shit got cooked. Like, what happened? I thought, like...
Yeah, I feel like if there's any large streamer that listened to this thing and Binty Boy, I'm just not going to take them seriously as a streamer. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about understanding the truth. They just want something to attack, especially when their sales start getting low. It's kind of like someone mentioned, like, something about Thaf9 the other day, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I had to have someone remind me that that was, like, one of the guys who was gunning to try and get, like, my sponsorship taken down. I didn't even remember who that was, and he's a larger streamer than I am. I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Demographic replacement does not equal great replacement. Are they retarded?
Like, VTubing was all about, like, cute shark girls singing seventh inning stretch. And, like, yeah, I would love it to be about cute shark girl singing seventh inning stretch. But, like, there's all these fucking insane people running around.
He does not own any mirrors.
We feel like supporting folks making clear stance. I do want to try. Oh, wait, no, I read that. Let me catch up with chat. Sorry. I'm burpy. I'm drinking a Celsius. How you doing, beer? It's good that someone shined the light on it. I think the field is going to have a major reset in 2026 when a sufficiently major scandal hits the press. I've been saying that. I got to restart Val. I've been saying that, and I think that's also the case.
A major scandal hits the press in 2026? Did this person predict that random trans pedophile getting arrested in the UK? Did he predict that?
I was talking to Niara about this somewhat recently, and what I told her was that I think... So there was the fan of Kirsche and Pippa who got arrested. And so I did that one article basically saying it's not Pippa's fault, right? And I think everyone on Blue Sky didn't understand what the point of that article was, which is one to say it's not Pippa's fault. Like, duh, okay, they understood that. But the other part was to say it's someone else's fault. I wonder who. Not Pippa. Someone else is to blame for what happened. I wonder who that...
Once again, it was not a puff piece on Pippa. Anna Valens does not like Pippa. Anna Valens is not a fan of Pippa. They wrote that article subversively in order to, 1, try and cause a rift between a friend of mine and myself. 2, to further the rift that already existed because Pippa's fan base wants my head on a pike for some reason. And 3, because they could use subversive language to paint all of the blame on me, somebody that they were already attacking. Guy wasn't even in your community. He wasn't even in my community at all, and the only interactions he ever had was retweeting several tweets of mine after the Anna Valens articles. My mods went through absolutely anything. He wasn't in any stream. He wasn't in any Discord chat. The only time he interacted was on Twitter after Anna Valens's articles. This was such a deranged individual that he believed Anna Valens's articles painting me as a Nazi and thought I was on his side. Anna Valens unironically contributed to Nazi discourse by painting me as something I'm not and having someone believe it.
Who that is? I wonder. And I think Blue Sky, I think, didn't really understand what I was trying to say. But I think that there is a certain subset of VTubers that are making the space so toxic that eventually what's going to happen is another incident like what happened in, what was it, like early June, I forget the time specifically, June, where someone gets arrested because they do something either that could be violent or is violent, right?
And you know what's crazy? That did happen. But you know who was arrested? A trans pedophile. Wow, it's... Let's think about this for a moment. I don't know if we need to watch the rest of the clip, because like that explanation was like basically all we needed, right? I wanted people to remember that Anna himself said that that was not a Pippa puff piece. That was subversive writing to paint me as the sole reason that that guy did that. So the person making it toxic. Okay, Anna, right? Exactly. What the fuck? Back to Rev, man.
Multiple sponsorships, and as you can see, to the chagrin of people on Reddit, they were swiftly removed after people alerted waifu wearers of their long history of behavior. But the big focus for today is Blue Sky, the insane asylum of the internet. I mean, there's a lot of dark, disturbing areas on the internet. Almost every social media platform has a bunch of wackadoos on it right out in the open, but Blue Sky is like a concentrated dose of the craziest people. And as pointed out here, Anna Valens is not having a good time in his socialist hug box. And you can see some of these screenshots here. This person saying, Anna Valens coming back to Blue Sky to harass and demean indie VTubers, just block and move on at this point. And ironically enough, the post was about VTweeters, saying VTweeters are super common in indie VTubing. A ton of VTubers have a persona artwork post and not much else. cannot stress enough how common, in quotes, I laid out my Twitch, but I haven't started streaming yet, end quote, is it's so common that we have a derogatory term for it, VTweeter. And the funny thing is, Anna is not even wrong here, okay?
Anna's not wrong here, but Anna also made a follow-up tweet explaining that they weren't being derogatory and they don't think VTweeter is a derogatory term. So even if they were completely fucking correct in what they were saying here, they're on the opposite side of everyone who knows what a VTweeter actually is. I know what you are.
This is not a wrong description of VTweeters, and I use it as an insult, okay? There's a big VTweeting problem when it comes to the Western side of the VTubing scene. VTweeters tend to be the most insufferable individuals. The same type of people who routinely engage in cancellation campaigns, life ruination campaigns, just like the ones that Anna Valens started against people like Kirsche. So it is a bit ironic to see them talking about this sort of stuff because VTweeters ideologically align pretty well with people like Anna Valens.
True.
But you can see more posts here. Anna is posting screenshots of my account on the Nazi bar. Yes, that is their name for Twitter, but continuing on.
It's really weird that a lot of them will call Twitter the Nazi bar and then simultaneously post there because they don't get enough reach on Blue Sky, and then also complain about how toxic Blue Sky is when Blue Sky is literally just filled with them. Like, it's a leftist hug box, and yet the leftists are calling it toxic. I wonder if they are capable of any kind of self-reflection in any way, shape, or form. And then it becomes even funnier when not only do they post on what they consider the Nazi bar, and by the way, if you have one person at a table with Nazis, apparently that person's also a Nazi regardless, because they're willing to sit at the Nazi table. What does that make you if you decide to post on the Nazi bar? Good fucking freak, right? Like, what the fuck are we talking about, dude? And then some of them will still pay for premium. Not only are you sitting and posting at the Nazi bar, you are paying the Nazis to do so in your mind. So, like, quite genuinely, their own actions are point proof for they don't call you a Nazi because they think you are one. They call you a Nazi because it is a way to mark you as an acceptable target.
This user says, literally putting targets on other trans people's backs for a sarcastic post saying Kirsche was your comfort streamer. Nice move, Anna. And people down here saying, I'm sorry you're getting any flack for this. It's absolutely vile behavior. This whole situation sounds crazy. I'm going to distance myself from Anna. Anna is a see you next Tuesday and a coward. Now look at the individuals doing this. Like, doesn't it all make sense? This is the exact rhetoric that Anna Valens and their ilk have been spreading since the whole ruination campaign began against Kirsche. Recently, this user saying, hey chat, you can commission me for the same price instead of buying the Nazi drink powder, referring to Gamer Subs, which was...
I want to point out that this is somebody posting a screenshot of Silvervale's announcement of becoming an official partner at Gamer Subs. Silvervale, who again is not a political streamer, she doesn't go into politics, she's never insulted, to my knowledge, trans people in any way, shape, or form. She called people attacking her during the Hogwarts thing Twitter freaks, and I think that's very fucking apt to call them. And then this person on Blue Sky said, speaking of which, if you need yet another reason to not support Gamer Subs, it's now owned by the Turf Wolf. You know, that transphobic slur-throwing piece of shit. That's yet another awful person you're supporting by partnering and buying from them. Brother, what the fuck? All she did was play a video game. What are we doing here? Nazi drink powder. What fucking retard universe do you live in? And also, commission you for what? Are you making, like, homebrew drink powder in your bathtub? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Silvervale living rent-free in the minds of Twitter freaks since February 2023. It's always projection when they say, like, oh, I'm living rent-free in your head. It's like, no. People wouldn't need to talk about you if you weren't a disgusting, duplicitous piece of shit. Like, come on, dude.
The targets of the cancellation campaign against Kirsche, they're trying to get her Gamer Subs sponsorship pulled, and you can see this person not only labeling it as the Nazi drink powder, which is right exactly in the sort of rhetoric that Anna Valens was spreading last year, but also this person is opportunistic and using it as an opportunity to try to get their commissions filled up. No, good luck with that. But anyways, going
reminds me of the people who like hop on a trend and they're just like, oh yeah, you know, I was also sexually assaulted. By the way, here's my Cash App.
back to the thread here. There's another post saying, I'm so sorry to that previous individual. She's a turncoat and a Nazi. Please do everything you need to protect yourself above all else. Deactivate if necessary. Unacceptable. I'm sorry, the worst people have the thinnest skin. Wow, someone from Blue Sky talking about having...
They betray themselves. It's if you already didn't know how they used Nazi, this should make it point proven for you.
Thin skin. If someone on Blue Sky says you have a thin skin, that is a burn, ladies and gentlemen. But, of course, here's some of the replies to the thread sharing these screenshots saying, heartwarming. The people you despise are fighting amongst each other. Love to see it. Funny, because what Anna said there is fairly accurate, which is true about VTweeters. It was an accurate description, but unfortunately, when you pedal to the insane asylum that is known as Blue Sky and actually value their approval, they're going to turn on you very quick by having an objectively right observation about the phenomenon known as VTweeters. But anyways, here's another one saying, LOL, so one of his trans peers made a joke about him and proceeded to add them on a list. Here's another one of Marine laughing. Blue Sky is really funny because as soon as you take away their targets of hatred, normal people, radical leftists just eat each other. And that's really what Blue Sky is, right? It's like an insane asylum. And no normal person is frequenting Blue Sky. So eventually they get bored and they just start eating each other over there. And Anna Valens would return to, what do they call it, the Nazi bar, which is known as Twitter, which is very funny because all of the people, and probably including Anna, consider Elon Musk to be a massive transphobe, and then of course they're over here with a blue check mark directly
giving him money, no big deal.
Elon Musk, but many such cases. It's just expected at this point from people who virtue signal about this stuff, but you can see they're definitely coping and seething on Twitter, posting a bunch of screenshots from both Twitter and Blue Sky, where people are turning on them, like this individual saying, if you support Anna Valens, you support a right-wing grifter who has an unhealthy and dangerous obsession with literal neo-Nazis and literal child abusers. She is a danger to everyone. She is a grifter. She's the same as any other far-right trans TERF crying about evil queers.
I do not know what needs to be wrong in your head to describe Mr. fucking Anal Violence as a far-right trans TERF. Like, they're just pulling out all of the, all right, let's go nuclear, destroy this person, use all of the bad target names for them. Like, actual fucking insanity.
You know what? Congratulations. Here's your target audience. This is the exact kind of person that Anna Valens was capitulating to, trying to impress on places like Blue Sky, and they still have a presence over here on Twitter, and it's just funny to see these people calling Anna Valens a right-wing grifter. See, that's what happens when words have no meaning anymore, when you throw terms like Nazi around. Everything that's close to it has no meaning whatsoever. Here's another one where they said, nah man, this is just wild, with this screenshot of a VTuber on Blue Sky saying the Anna Valens stuff is literally unsurprising at all. Like, at all. This isn't even the first time she's deactivated and went to the Nazi site to complain about people here proving her wrong. She glazes people like Kirsche.
It's not just Asmongold that gets Pippa and I confused. That's fucking funny. Anna was so bad at communist subversion tactics and his journalism that not only did people not understand he was trying to deflect all blame onto me with that article, but people got Pippa and I confused in general and thought he wrote an article glazing me. Holy fuck. Yeah, man, this is wild. If only you didn't pick the side that Ouroboros is, you fucking freak.
And is defending a effing lolly who's probably lying for clout. Come on. It is so funny to see the misinformation, because this whole thing was fueled by hysteria and misinformation, where people like Anna Valens were trying through misinformation to ruin the life of people like Kirsche. And now, ironically enough, those same people who were the target audience of those cancel culture campaigns are...
What's really funny is that there's a few comments under Rev's video saying, but there's no proof that Rev didn't make this up. People aren't this stupid, you chud. What the fuck? Okay, those comments are from retards.
Do not be a retard.
Now turning on Anna Valens and saying that Anna Valens is a bigot and all these things, and also a fan of Kirsche, who they tried so hard to cancel. And also this whole thing about Lolly, I'm assuming they're referring to the Mimi situation, but Anna Valens commenting on anything about Lolly is very ironic, given the fact that they maliciously accused the VTuber agency Via Lore of not only being transphobic...
Which, I'm pretty sure part of my explanation when I first covered this, which made me a target for this fucking freak in the first place, was that I don't think Anna's actually against Lolly. They just knew that they could use it as a wedge issue here in order to get more people to attack the company. Because that's what these duplicitous journalist things do.
For hiring women for the female roles. They're talking biological women for the female roles of their agency, but also labeled them as...
Hot take. Straight men like listening to biological women. Just a fucking fun fact. Never before heard news.
As predators and pedo baiting because they had a Lolly VTuber in their ranks. That was something that Anna Valens wrote on Vice, and it's still up to this day. But there's more here. Anna Valens saying, Blue Sky thinks Kirsche is my comfort VTuber.
I'm a comfort
Going back to that
VTuber.
creep individual, that's their name. I'm not making any sort of an insult here, but they say, her comfort VTuber is a Nazi. That means she's hanging out in the Nazi bar. That means she's a Nazi. Just do what we do with other Nazis. Starve her for attention. And this person...
I also want to point out, one of the other tweets said that, like, Anna was getting upset over a sarcastic tweet about her comfort VTuber. This doesn't read like sarcasm to me, by the way.
It says, who? How many Nazi grifter VTubers do I need to watch out for nowadays?
All of
Well,
them.
I mean, it'd be endless if you're referring to individuals like this and who they consider to fall under that label, because it's literally anyone who thinks differently than them. But anyways, they say down here, the comfort VTuber in question is Kirsche. I'm talking about Anna Valens, who is defending a lolly VTuber who, yada, yada, yada. And you can see the other user says, I thought you meant someone new. Yeah, I'm familiar with both, although wasn't Anna anti-Kirsche for a while back in the day? What happened to all that? These chronically online idiots, as they post from Blue Sky, switch sides like I switch up my wigs. I swear. Okay. And the other person says she wrote a fluff piece for Kirsche a while back.
When you want to be a communist subverter, but your target audience has less than 50 IQ.
It's pretty crazy to see misinformation leading to a bunch of buzzwords being thrown at you left and right. If only that we've seen this play out before in the past when Anna Valens was doing the exact same thing to Kirsche, who obviously had something to say about all of this.
Damn, that's crazy.
Saying, that's crazy. While showing some more Blue Sky posts. Apparently, this main account on Blue Sky from Anna Valens is deactivated. And this one says, a big reason why Blue Sky is so awful with harassment is that bad faith actors will purposefully misinform their audience by omitting key information or presenting facts dishonestly.
Ironic.
This person claims I am dissing on VTubers who don't stream. The user left out my follow-up post saying I support them.
Oh no! Oh no! Is someone purposefully misinforming people? Are they omitting key information and presenting facts dishonestly? Oh no! Oh no! Who would do such a thing? Anna Valens, who would do that?
Jeez, it's almost like context and nuance actually matters before you make a determination about a person. The call is coming from inside the house, Anna Valens. This is what you do to others, and now it's happening to you from the same group of mentally deranged people you've been trying to appeal to for years. And here's another example, quoting the one post that we saw earlier, saying, here's a user confusing Pippa and Kirsche, a repeat issue at this point. I cannot stress enough. that you're likely seeing a lot of negative things said about me that aren't even grounded in reality, because the hate mob around me doesn't have their facts straight, nor do they care to.
And he doesn't read this next part, but Anna Valens continues at the bottom. No one has to like me, but they should be honest in their dislike. Lying, misinterpreting facts, omitting key details to manipulate your audience. That's unethical. And you know, I'm glad that Anna Valens could be honest for once in their entire failed career. Yes, Anna Valens, you are unethical, and that's why no one wants to fucking work with your ass, bro. Maybe you can take a few years off and come back and actually be an honest individual. I doubt it, but you know, everyone deserves that benefit, don't they? To be able to fix themselves from all the shit that they've caused. So maybe that can happen. And someone else mentioned that Anna Valens seems to want to skinwalk me, because all of the stuff they're saying here not only is hypocritical, but it's things that I've said before, especially the no one has to like me, but they should be honest in their dislike kind of thing. And it made me think of a couple of other skinwalking instances where Anna has posted things that I've said, but changed them to fit his brand. And I forgot to ask my mods to pull up those tweets, so unfortunately, I don't have them for you, but they would have made this much more robust, unfortunately.
Yes, this has happened before with your exact articles on Kirsche. It's just so ironic to see it come around
Yes!
and hit them the same way. They were hoping it would hit Kirsche.
Shania Twain hitting those high notes,
being
man.
Eaten alive by their own, called a Nazi. And
or wait, was it
even
Alanis Morissette who did the
Kirsche
ironic
supporter.
song? I don't know, I get Shania Twain and Alanis confused.
Whether you like Pippa or Kirsche, on Blue Sky, they're going to call you a Nazi for that anyway, so I don't really understand why
The distinction matters because Anna's upset that more people didn't understand the subversion he was trying to use to paint me as the sole reason for that deranged freak that wasn't even part of my community until Anna Valens introduced them to me claiming I'm a Nazi. So once again, way to go, Anna Valens! You created more far-right terror than I have! You fucking weirdo!
Distinction even matters, but you can see replies to the thread from Kirsche. This person saying, gee whiz. Being accused of being a Nazi, being misquoted, being dragged by a mob. Guess karma has a sense of humor. That it does. And then this person says the Will Stancil of Vtubing. And once I heard that, I could not unhear it. It is.
And I got something for you, chat. Azehara made this, man. It do be like that, Mr. Valens.
Is so accurate. Like, couple phrases come to mind, you know, I can see them sitting there on Twitter with all these people on Blue Sky turning on them saying, you know, somebody's gotta do something, or it do be like that, Mr. Stancil. I mean, there's so much that can go here, but yeah, the Will Stancil of VTubing, that's a good one. But here's another reply saying it's genuinely heartwarming that there's not a single person on either side that likes him, and Kirsche says he's done the Herculean task of getting deranged Blue Sky leftists and Twitter sphere chuds to agree on something. And then Anna Valens, in their continued crash out, says, politically, I wonder if Blue Sky was one of the worst decisions the online left made, siloing themselves off from the rest of the net and building a site growing more and more prone to toxicity and misinformation and conspiratorial thinking and harassing minors. If you
Freudian slip, I'm sure they do that too, but it's harassing minorities. And it makes me think of like the lack of self-awareness that people have in real life, where they flee a state due to leftist policies making it impossible to live there, and then they vote for more leftist policies where they move to, thus ensuring the enshittification continues. Again, this person is not capable of any sort of self-reflection, so even if they can understand that this might be a horrible decision that the online left made, they're not gonna change anything, man. These are locust voters, true.
You use Twitter, you're at the Nazi bar, but the site programmed with AI and filled with college kids who can clearly use Kiwi Farms is fine, okay. And then this user really just sums up the type of people that Anna's been catering to. The Nazi bar analogy just seems like a misremembered anecdote anyways. Twitter is a service owned by Nazis that treat Nazis favorably.
Then why is Anna paying for a blue check mark, bro? Why is Anna paying the Nazi? Like, no wonder people on Blue Sky think Anna's a Nazi if they're paying money to the Nazi bar, dude.
Still bad, but nobody maps onto a lot of other things in our society where the core dynamic is concerned. I mean,
what the fuck? It's dog shit, but notably maps onto a lot of other things in our society where the core dynamic is concerned. Is this kind of like, it doesn't matter that it's owned by Nazis, it's the only thing we can use to support ourselves? In which case, you're supporting yourselves with the help of Nazis, which, under your logic, would make you a Nazi. What are we doing here?
What is this person even saying? Are they saying that this is a service owned by Nazis? What are you doing here? What are all you doing here? Because at the end of the day, you guys all think this place is ran by Nazis one way or another, and you're just here, still using it. Because, I mean, what else are you going to do at this point, right? But yeah, I wonder if Blue Sky was a bad idea. Oh, really? I think everyone knew Blue Sky was a bad idea the second it was created because, well,
please don't get rid of the containment
section
board.
People off. It served as an insane asylum. No sane person has a presence over at Blue Sky. It's not worth your time or your sanity. But the only thing I will say is I hope Blue Sky continues. Because Blue Sky, ironically enough, has really served itself as a way to hold all these people. It really is an insane asylum.
It's a containment board, bro.
It's a place where all the craziest people go and at least quarantines them off for a little bit. Because the second Blue Sky falls, guess where they're going? They're going back to Twitter. Now, of course, that makes it easier to farm them for content and stuff like that. But yeah, at least they're contained on one spot. But then again, a lot of these people, Anna included, are duo posting on Blue Sky and Twitter all the time anyways, because they need that dopamine rush from being on multiple platforms at the same time. But we've come a long way, right?
We have come a long way.
In 2025, where Anna was trying to cancel.
It's only
Kirsche
been 1 year,
Nazi
chat.
And trying to
what
get their
the fuck?
sponsors pulled, and a lot of it was fueled by misinformation and cutting out context. And now, well, that same stuff is happening right back to them, thanks to deranged users on Blue Sky they were catering to for so long. And on top of that, they're now saying that Anna Valens is a fan of Kirsche. That's really the cherry on top of this entire situation.
Thank you to my #1 fan for donating to me so often you must beg for rent on Blue Sky. I really appreciate your sacrifice, #1 fan Anna Valens. Time isn't real.